So it begins, the first of many of Wemby's new friends for his sophomore year, as in my 28th season as a fan. And in the NASCAR world, one of my favorite drivers lost her ride for underperforming. So there's a lot to unpack, and we'll get to the heart rate shit a little later, because holy goddamn shit. Hey YouTube, what's going on? Mark here. Happy Monday to all, and happy first of the month. We're officially on the path of the halfway point of season 4, Fun in the Sun, aka the 2024 Sandy Ridge Redemption. And it looks like it's the only thing that's repeating from last year's monstrosity is that people are going on vacation, but it's not as egregiously bad as last year, because we've improved in that department. We've improved in the department of how the weather is. So therefore, there's been more good content, at this point now this year than there was at this point last year. But we're going to save that for more, in other videos in the weeks to come. As the first part of the halfway point is the 4th of July festivities this Thursday. And then all of next week, we're going to be going to work each and every day when my mom comes back from, taking care of my newborn niece in Virginia on the 7th. We're going to be, going to work every single day next week, because it was only going to be 3 days this week. So I felt like there was no point of going in for that short period of time, considering the 4th we're off, obviously, for the holiday. And the 5th we're off, too. They're giving us the 5th off. Then, of course, we get Saturday and Sunday. We normally nobody goes to work on Saturday and Sunday. It depends on what job it is. But Monday we will be back, and then we're gonna go then all the way to Friday, and then Saturday Emma Bachman's grad party hopefully will be vlogged if I'm able to secure a ride, let alone make it there. I will record some necessary parts of the 4th of July Black Party here in the happy place in Northeast Ohio. Only the necessary parts. I got a surprise cooking for Leah Rutherford, the daughter of the Between the Bun owner, Laisha Rutherford. So shout out to that whole family. I look forward to reuniting with you guys this Thursday and giving Leah that surprise. I'm pretty sure, I already told Laisha what it is, but you're not allowed to tell Leah. Leah's not allowed to know until we get, because I'm going to have Jerry Springer, take care of it. And we're going to have, Laisha or whoever do the recordings of it. So we're going to try to record only some parts of the Black Party. We're not going to record every goddamn thing, because I don't want, Jerry Springer, to make, get the wrong idea where I'm going to, it's going to be like last year. I don't want to make it look like I'm giving him vibes. I'm going to give a bad first impression to people that even I already met last year that's going to remember me from last year, or some new folks that weren't there last year that are going to be there for the first time this year, meet me for the first time. We're going to figure this out one way or another. One thing I will be recording for sure, besides that and the fireworks, is you see this old ass shit. This is one of the creepiest dreams I wrote about when I was 17, about to be 18, living on Sandhurst. So we're definitely not going to be talking about this in the documentary. I didn't have time to record any documentary footage today because so much was on my brain and I had so much to do today. But this dumbass list for Mega Mitch, love story fanfic. I was gonna write that. Thank God I never got to. This shit is getting burned alive at the party on the 4th. So therefore, we can finally get this shit out of my fucking house on Thursday. We can take it to the Black Party. Find whatever tools we have that that has a flame in it, allows you to burn shit, and we're gonna fucking burn this shit up. Oh my God, I can't wait to finally fucking burn this, because I was supposed to do that last year and the year before. I ended up forgetting to do it, but this third time's the charm. We're going to remember some dumbass shit I had when I was younger. The creepy story was when I was a junior in high school, and that dumbass list on the yellow paper was the last non-COVID year when I was still trying to shake off all the old Lenore and Sandhurst habits. But oh my God, I can't wait. But anyway, the home days is next. Look, that part of the halfway point is next week. We're getting ready for Brook Park, and then Emma Bachman's grad party 13th. Then we're going to go to the home days on the 14th. Try to record some episodes there. We're going to try to record some stories that my grandparents can fill the void in tomorrow when there's more time. And then the 15th, we'll be resting, we'll be taking the day off. It'll be the last day of the first half. Then starting the 16th, we won't be taking any days off for a while, because we're going to try to improve the attendance to make sure we stay at ViaQuest for the longest time. We're in a definite amount of time. Only taking days off when necessary, like Cedar Point, or whenever we need to rest, or if we're actually sick, then yeah. then we just can't just like sit out whenever we want. Like, you know, if we like, say for example, we don't feel like it. But anyway, all that aside, there's so much to address in this video. So first off, we're going to get to the romance shit a little later, like I said in the intro. So anyway, so you probably were waiting for my words on this. That's San Antonio Spurs signing Chris Paul. I didn't see it coming. I mean, this is probably going to be Pau Gasol 2.0, where Pau, remember how Pau could have been on the team a whole lot sooner after we had that 2013 finals heartbreak in Game 6, where he could have signed with us when we won the championship in 2014, going on 2013, going to 2014, but he decided to choose the Bulls instead. And then the only reason why we got him, like, how many seasons later? 3 seasons later, was because Tim Duncan had retired and we couldn't find a young athletic big to replace him. So we ended up getting Pau Gasol like a too little too late. As we all know, that the shit didn't work. So it turns out, you know, it was too little too late. He got on the Spurs. You know, we've had a history of signing players past their prime. You know, Damon Stoudemire in 07-08, Pau Gasol in 16-17. I mean, Chris Paul is definitely past his prime. I mean, Nick Van Exel in 2005-2006. I mean, maybe Chris Paul will prove me wrong, and maybe you know, prove that, you know, he's nothing like, you know, 05-06 Van Exel, 16-17 Pau Gasol, you know, people like, or 07-08 Damon Stoudemire, people like that. Well, only time will tell. So therefore, this is the first of many moves we're making to get Wemby some new friends. You know, first of many new friends we're going to get them. Young, old, past, present, whatever. So maybe this will work out in our favor. And maybe even if we don't make the playoffs, I expect, you know, for us to win more games than, you know, we did it, you know, not just last year, but the 3 years before that. 22, 23, when I took a break I took the year off minus the Cleveland game here in Ohio against the Cavs. And then the 2 years before that, when we started bad, ended good in 21, 22, and then started good, ended bad in 2021, the COVID shortened year, you know, where it went from usually 82 games to a shortened 72 game season, if y'all remember that. And the season we got a short because of the bubble and all the stuff that happened in 2020. We ended up having to finish the season in the summer, where it was supposed to be my time to get away from what was already a train wreck in 2019-2020, where our season would have ended in April, but then we had to finish everything in the summertime, and then we ended up having some late summer, early fall playoff basketball, and then we ended up getting a short off season where the draft barely got squeezed in. We didn't get a summer league. We didn't get none of that shit. I mean, we didn't get the season started, the new season started until like around Christmas to New Year's. And then it was so weird how we were shortened to 72 games, because in March and April, we were like talking about middle of the season and nowhere near playoff territory. And then by the end of May, like when Duncan got inducted to the Hall of Fame and Coach Pop had to go out of attendance, you know, they, you know, basically had the scrubs, you know, finish the season before it was time to go into the play-in, all that stuff. You know, when we were seeing him get inducted in Connecticut, we're during the MBNA Platinum 400 at Dover. You know, if you're going to go look at those series of videos, your links under the description, if I remember to put it in there. You know, and then, you know, how the play-in shit didn't start till, like, you know, end of Memorial Day, end of May, going into the beginning of June, and then the second week of June, the playoffs started, and then the season didn't end till like early to mid-July with the finals, and the king of bitching it up, fluking his way in that ring, getting carried by Giannis, and now look where he's at, out of the league for beating up his wife and slash baby mama, and rightfully where he belongs, out of the league. So, but that's a tangent we're gonna save for another day, another video. But what a time that was to be alive, you know. But I feel like compared to that season, the season after, when we were like, you know, went for like the last, you know, the only full season we were a triad, and because we started a triad, late the last legs of summer 2021, and then 21-22 when we did that 25 Days of Christmas series, that's when we started bad. But then when we got the spring preseason, and then the weekend of the UAW Daimler Chrysler Ford at Viva Las Vegas in the auto show. I mean, we got the Winter Wonderland Season 1 finale, the weekend of Marco Farago's birthday, like always. Subway Fresh Fit 500, and then Tyrell Jackson Williams, Jerry Nadeau, Joe Nemechuk 25th birthday, a day after the late great David A. Arnold's Todd Bodine 54th birthday. We ended up, getting this official Spring is in the Air Season 1 finale and the official 2022 Sandy Ridge premiere, And then that was when we went on a tear, because after, we had that humiliating loss on my Abuelo's birthday, which I think was his Bill Elliott 94th birthday, I decided to take a break. But then the moment I took a break from the games, they went on a tear. I'm like, damn, I better finish this off. But the moment I come back to finish the season, they start shitting it up again. And that's one reason why we were in the play in those 2 years. We started good the first year, started good, ended bad. But then the next year we started bad, ended good. And that's to the point where we got an undeserved. We took up a spot in the play, and that better teams in that play-in position were more deserving of it than we are. See, I'm a Spurs fan, and you should be like, Mark, you should be happy you guys got in the play. And well, we didn't deserve to be there because we all consider, you can like a team or like an athlete or like a player or even a race car driver, but at the same time, it's not against the law. You can take the fanboy cap off and view it as a regular, non-biased viewer. We realistically shouldn't have been in that close playing spots in 2021 and 2022. The only reason why we were there is because one half of the season we did good, and the other half we did bad. Where in 2021 season, we started off in the first half really good. And then the second half, ever since COVID hit during the Charlotte game, a day before my Kirk Shelmerdine 27th birthday, during the Daytona rain delay 2021 Daytona 500, that's when we plummeted down the toilet. And we ended up really bad. And then the next year, we picked up where we left off from that point, 21-22. We started off terribly, and then I took some time off after that embarrassing loss to Memphis on my Abuelo's birthday, when John Morant torched us. And then the moment I stopped watching, because I got so angry, that's when we went on a tear. I'm like, let's finish this season off. Turns out, what do? I start watching. What happened when I was tuning in to finish the season? We shut it up again, and that's the only reason why we got to play in. And then, as expected, we lost both years. That was my boiling point where I got frustrated and angry to the point where outside the Cleveland game here in Ohio against the Cavs that my dad already renewed the tickets for, the one that my mom couldn't take. My mom had a team because for some reason my dad couldn't. And when we met Beth Regali for the first time, yeah, that was Tankathon 1.0, which got us Wembenyama to begin with. And then, this past season with Wembenyama was Tankathon 2.0, and the Wemby effect made it. We had a losing record, but he made it more positive than it really should have been, even with the losing record. He really did. That's why, we thought the league pass, we thought we canceled the league pass this year. We decided we didn't want it, but for some reason, it renewed itself this past season, and we didn't know it. So when my sister was in town earlier this year, I decided to check for shits and giggles, and guess what? It renewed itself, so we decided to finish the season. The only game we caught up to that point was the season opener against the eventual Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic, and the Cleveland game here in Ohio, and then the version 2 against the Cavs in San Antonio for my birthday when we met Gabriella Graves. But other than that, those are only 3 games we had caught until we found out the league pass renewed itself, so we finished it off. And that was Tankathon 1.75 because we only caught 1 3/4 of the season. So, therefore, that was Tankathon 2.0. The Stefan Castle guy, I hope he turns out to be a good fit with Wemby and Chris Paul. The backcourt, whatever. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Will Keldon stay and let alone, give up 3 or have Chris Paul switch to 33? Or is this a sign that we're going to get rid of Keldon so that Chris Paul can have his 3? The world may never know unless we all find out together as an audience in the coming weeks and months, We'll all find out together. It's only a matter of time. So we'll just have to wait out the rest of the summer to find that out for ourselves. So therefore, and yes, I did hear about Rob Dillingham. I was excited to have him. He was probably going to be the second coming of Wemby when it came to like positions. He would be the guard version of Wemby, and of course they fucking got rid of him. And yeah, I was pissed as hell. So therefore, Brian Ray hopes most likely gonna regret it, but you never know. Stefan Castle can be just as special as for us as Rob Dillingham would have been, but we have so many guards to the point where we fucking need a big that can back Wemby up. I don't know if Zach Collins is going to stay. That's the thing. I want him to stay, and I want Mamu to stay because I picked Zach, Trey, Mamu, and Devontae on this year's team. That's my 4 new favorite players. But except ever since Duncan retired, every time I pick a new player that's current to replace him, they fucking leave. Jonathan Simmons left. Lavida Luga-Samanic left. I don't know about Zach and Trey. Trey's like 50-50, and Zach has a good chance of leaving. Devontae is and Mamu 50-50. See, we're going to have to find out. We're going to find this out together throughout the rest of the summer during this offseason. Who's going to stay in San Antonio on this team for next season, and who's going to get the boot, or who's going to decide they're going to leave on their own to go to another team, or when I say get the boot, who's going to be traded to another team without a choice they have, even if they do want to stay. So tune in out the rest of this NBA offseason as we continue Season 4 of Fun in the Sun, aka the 2024 Sandy Ridge Redemption, to find out. Now for the NASCAR side of things. So you probably may have heard that Hailie Deegan, as you know, Hailie Deegan's been one of my favorite NASCAR drivers since the pre-COVID part of 2020 when she finished second in her first ever, big oval race in the ARCA Remix Series behind Michael Self. That's why I had a lot of faith in her that she could replicate this success as she got moved up. And I also started cheering for her because I felt like she would be way better than Danica as long as she wasn't rushed up too quickly. And I feel like obviously it turns out I was wrong. I was wrong because she was rushed up a little sooner than I thought compared to Danica, to the point where she was really underperforming. And I'm taking the fanboy cap off even as a Deegan fan. To me, she should have had at least one more year than she actually did in ARCA Remix to get her feet in the deep water before moving up to Craftsman Truck, because Disco Inferno 70, aka Jose Polanco, was right. She should have got out of the truck sooner if she was. Well, at the same time, she should have stayed in ARCA Remix one more year, and then should have just, only had, should have got out, even going down that path, she should have been in trucks for as long as she was. So, therefore, in Busch Grand National, she should have, been performing, as expected, but no, she was underperforming and rightfully lost that ride. So therefore, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that she got canceled. And I've been watching too much. I've been watching a little bit of Winston Cup this year, but ever since Noah Gragson moved up to Winston Cup, even with the rookie season from hell in 2023, when I took the year off from watching NASCAR, aside from the Gatorade Twin 125 and the what was it? Sirius Satellite Radio 400 at MIS finale last year. I haven't been watching too much, Busch Grand National and Craftsman Truck. Craftsman Truck, I've only watched 2 races this year. Busch Grand National, I've only watched 1, I think. Maybe the Napa Auto Parts 300. I remember watching the Florida Dodge Dealers 250 when there was too many fucking crashes. So, therefore, I don't watch too much Busch Grand National Craftsman Truck anymore. Especially because, Zane Smith moved up to Winston. Noah Gragson moved up to Winston as well. So, there really isn't much left for me to root for in Busch Grand National. Except maybe John Hunter, but he is a Winston Cup lead now. So, too bad this didn't happen last year, and that mattered most when he was running for a Busch Grand National Championship, because he already restarted his career in Craftsman and Busch Grand National. So, this is the second shot at Winston Cup, and if this doesn't go according to plan, then I think we'll want to be seeing John Hunter and Winston Cup anytime soon if he doesn't pick it up. So, but he did run good at the Food City 500 and a Petty 42 and finished 6th. So he's quite capable of taking I would say a C-class car, and, putting it in the top 10 to finish, because he has a couple top 10s to boot this year. So, therefore, I feel like, he has the potential to, like, maybe squeak a win or two out of his ass, even if it's not constantly. Even if he's not a platform driver, I feel like he could get that first Winston Cup win, like he almost did at the Aaron's 499 during the COVID year when he was about to pull a Ron Bouchard if Blaney didn't make that move that he did. So, therefore, yeah, but I'm going on a mutated tangent. So, therefore, Hailie Deegan doesn't surprise me one bit. I don't know who's going to pick her up. I don't even know if anybody's going to want her because she's underperforming. So, a random team picks her up. Even if she goes back to the Craftsman Truck Series, she might underperform in that too. So, therefore, Hailie, I'm like a fan of yours, but you really disappointed me. So I expect you to do better in Busch Grand National than you did after how disastrous your Craftsman truck career was. But guess it wasn't meant to be. But hey, you win some, you lose some. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Can't wait. You always get what you want. And what was that? Okay, what was the motto? What was the motto? Now I remember now. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Can't always get what you want. You win some, you lose some. You live and you learn. Okay, there you go. So now we're going to talk about the elephant of the room. My romance life. So, unfortunately, since this is the second time, I'm a fit. Well, here's the thing. Julie and I, again, just like last time, Julie and I was, okay, here's the scoop. Julie and I broke up again, this time for good. Because I remember, being told by, I'm not going to get into too much detail on who was saying stuff and everything, but two people in particular who have been looking out for me, so shout out to you guys. I'll just say who you are, Jonathan and Zamara. Thanks for always looking out for me and making sure I don't get hurt by the wrong person. So, Zamara works with us at our work, so, and plus she's going to the learning farm anyway, so I don't have to deal with or worry about this BS anymore. So therefore, I was talking to staff even when I was there, even when I've been there. Like one day I was talking to staff and Z was watching, what was going on. So she alerted me what happened, and then even when I'm there, it's like I see her, this is one of the dudes she used to date before me, in our building. I mean, I knew something was going on. I saw them sitting together, but I didn't want, me to get in trouble. I'm like, starting a fight. I didn't want to start no fight or, get all angry and shit because I'm a lover, not a fighter. Maybe younger me would have done that, but I'm going to prove that to my peers that I center myself around that I've improved. Compared, or people my age or even younger than me, or hell, even people older than me, still do what I used to do when it comes to getting upset, and feel like you are being wronged or by someone in your life that, but this is the second time. I mean, we did do it after the first one was the first time is one thing. At least if you got wronged by a romantic partner once, you could either, pull the plug completely like I was going to do, but then, the whole live and love the Labrador effect, everyone deserves a second chance. Well, you only get that second chance once, and I do have a habit of giving girlfriends second chances. It's not the first time I've done that. It probably won't be the last. So we did a video on her channel, talking things out, and that was supposed to be like an announcement video while we were going to go from here, but it ended up, we organically decided to talk it out and, make it work. So therefore, and that was during the Finish What We Started campaign. Back to when we were getting ready to wrap up season 3 of Spring Is in the Air. So at least we had a lot of time to make up for it. So therefore, because we didn't have there was no holidays, or long ass vacations getting in the way. back then like there is now, so we had time to recover from it since we had a campaign going on. So that was one thing. It was another to make the same mistake for her to make the same mistake now, where it's a long vacation where I decided to take all 3 days off plus the 2 days they already gave us off, the 4th and the 5th, and then of course the weekend, the 6th and the 7th, where a bunch of my friends are gonna be at the black party on Thursday. They're gonna have a long ass hangover until the 8th, where we're going back to work and everything and ending our vacations, whether it's away from home or away from work, away from home as in out of town, it's like some of my friends here in the happy place in Northeast Ohio are doing. But while some of them are on vacation, there's some of us that are still here, trying to make some stuff happen and get some action going that where like you come out, you usually come out if ready for. So a lot of YouTube videos are still getting done, even with these huge chunk of people on vacation here in the happiest place in Northeast Ohio. So therefore, it's only the first of the month. So this is a bizarre way to start the month of July. So therefore, heartbreak strikes again. And then of course, we had Geppetto's for dinner yesterday. It was still North Olmsted, but they're so inconsistent with how they cook the ribs. It just depends on who's cooking them, I guess. I mean, the last couple times, all the times we got them in the past, they were cooked really well and they came off the bone really easily, which is why we tore that shit up like Terry Labonte. Yesterday, they weren't cooked all that well. They tasted good, but they were a little too hard. They didn't come off the bone very well. I kind of didn't like them. Don't get me wrong, I love Geppetto's, but yesterday, the way they were cooked, I did not like them, and I don't think my grandmother did either. So maybe it was because, depending on the people who cook them, who fucking knows who's behind the scenes, behind closed doors in those kitchens, cooking all these foods we love at our restaurant. But between that yesterday and the heartbreak today, where I pulled the plug on Julie again, but this time for good, because this is the second time. I'm not going to go through a third time and beyond, doing this back and forth shit. I'm going to take a break from dating for now, and then we're going to just let it come organically, whenever the time is right. But between this and, of course, the ribs yesterday, we will bounce back from this. I promise you. Mark my words. You just got to, as my grandmother herself would say, you just got to pray on it. So tomorrow, a YouTube short from last year's 4th of July block party will be going up 2 years ago today, which was originally Gavin McMullen's capture. But he sent me a copy from one of his older TikToks and all the TikTok accounts, and so I decided to trim it to make it look like my own. So therefore, I look forward to having you see that YouTube short tomorrow. That will be tomorrow's upload, July 3rd. I don't think there'll be a new upload tomorrow, but July 3rd, weather permitting, it's better for it to happen on this. If it's going to rain at all, even if it's only for a little bit, it's better to happen on Wednesday than Thursday. Thursday, we're going to try to record some portions of the block party, not every single thing or every single person. July 5th, well, there won't be a neighborhood fun tear it up like Terry Labonte episode for 4th of July this year, because it's just going to happen so quickly with it being in the middle of the week. But we're going to figure out the upload schedule as we go, and then me and my grandparents are going to record some Brook Park Sandhurst stories as part of the documentary of for episodes of the documentary of the same name. There won't be time today, but I will tomorrow when Chelsea is here, and see if Chelsea remembers being in that house. We can have her record some stories in there. It doesn't. We don't have to record them or talk about them in chronological order. I mean, we can talk about anything we want, but except whatever gets talked about out of order, we will not be using that yet. So my grandfather could talk about who originated everything from my mom's side of the family, or who came before him and who came after him, and all the stuff he did growing up in Puerto Rico, but before he met my grandmother, and before they moved to Ohio, and before, how they got to Sally, and before they moved to Sanders, before they had my mom. But we're going to figure this out one way or another. And then the Emma Bachman's grad party on the 13th, the home days on the 14th, where we're going to record random episodes of random stories. And then We're going to be resting on the 15th and taking my last day off and for a long time. And then starting the 16th, we're going to be going every single day. We're not going to be taking any days off until further notice. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night. Please pray for me. I will see you all for the next video, whenever that may be, outside of the YouTube short that will be going up sometime tomorrow afternoon from a year ago tomorrow at the 2023 Black Party, which was the second annual in the Happy Place in Northeast Ohio. So see you later, everyone. 107.3